It is day 3 of Techlinked's coverage of CES, but only day 2 of CES, because although everyone's here by Monday, it's Vegas. You know, what are you gonna do? Today we're talking about the coolest stuff I've seen at CES, and that we haven't talked about already on Techlinked. Okay, ready to go! At Intel's press conference, the company laid out quite a few announcements. Their Ice Lake chips, based on the 10nm process, will be the company's first to feature the new Sunny Cove architecture, Gen 11 integrated graphics, native Thunderbolt 3 and Wi-Fi 6 support, and DL boost. Ice Lake CPUs are coming by the end of the year, but perhaps the most interesting information we got from Intel was about codename Lakefield, which is what they're calling their modular chips that use Foveros 3D stacking. It's not Foveros, for example. Lakefield processors would use large Sunny Cove cores in combination with smaller Atom cores, which means it would be able to operate either at very low power for efficient use or pump things up for heavy workloads. Those modular CPUs are put in a stack with DRAM chips, which allows Intel to make the motherboard extremely small and can be scaled for applications all the way up from tiny low-power devices to full desktop PCs. Now, Intel also briefly mentioned Project Athena, which they're saying is an Intel-driven initiative to foster innovation across the entire PC ecosystem, similar to what they did with the Ultrabook branding. They didn't say anything else specifically, but if you're going to give vague promises about allegedly industry-shattering projects, CES is the place to do it. Now, the hype around VR has died down for sure, but HTC had a couple of interesting announcements to make about their Vive line of headsets. The Vive Pro Eye adds eye tracking and foveated rendering to the regular Vive Pro, which should allow PCs to only render the parts of a VR scene that the user is looking at, increasing performance and hopefully making it so that you don't need to have a super expensive PC to enjoy yourself, which is always a good thing. HTC also teased the HTC Cosmos. Cosmos? Dennis, that's not it. The HTC Cosmos, which will apparently be fully wireless, but unlike the Quest, will still be intended for home use with a PC or with a smartphone? The video showed a smartphone. It was very confusing for everybody. Like I said, it was just a tease, but it did have a flashy video. Very CES. And HTC gave a peek at the Vive Reality System, which looks kind of like a PlayStation Home for the Vive, but it could also be a tracking system that would allow the Vive to break free of being shackled to Valve's SteamVR tracking, which is exciting, as anyone who's ever been shackled to something could understand. Hey, and check this out. It's not a functioning product, but I think it's super cool. Bell, that's the aircraft company, not the Canadian ISP, is showing off a scale model of the Nexus, a vertical takeoff and landing capable vehicle that will be used for Uber's air taxi service. It's got 5 seats and will run on a hybrid electric engine with 6 tilting ducted rotors.
You can't just go in and you do it.
There's not much room around CES. As large as CES is, there's not much room. Like I said, it's a scale model, so it doesn't actually fly yet, but Bell says it will have the Nexus in operation by the mid-2020s, and Uber plans to have its air taxi service up and running by 2023, so futuristic vehicles like this one may become common more quickly than you think. See that? See that, Dennis?
Sure.
I did a little bit of vague promising there. It's the CES spirit in me. And it's also time for Quick Bits, brought to you by CSonic. Now, first off, I've got to clarify something. In the earlier sponsor spots, I said CSonic has been making powerful and efficient power supplies since the 1980s. I was wrong. They've been making them since 1978. So for those of you that weren't convinced, yeah, CSonic has been doing this for 2 more years than you thought, so think again. If you're looking for a dependable high-performance power supply for your next build or upgrade, and you're not going with CSonic, oh, big mistake. Check them out at the link below. On to the Quick Bits, everybody! HP has shown off the world's first gaming laptop with a 240Hz display, but that high refresh rate comes with some drawbacks. The HP Omen 15 has a 15-inch 1080p TN panel with no G-Sync, but it's powered by an RTX 2070 Max-Q and an Intel 8th Gen Core i7. It's launching next month, so you don't have long to wait if 120 frames just aren't good enough. Hey look, it's that folding phone from the company no one's heard of yet, before now. The grainy video we all saw of the Royole Flex Pi made this thing look kind of sketchy, but in person, it looks a little better. Because Royole developed this thing on its own, it doesn't have Google's software optimizations that are coming out for folding phones, but it seems to do okay by itself. A company called Nreal is looking to one-up Microsoft's HoloLens and the Magic Leap by making augmented reality glasses that don't look like a giant computer strapped to your head. which is always good, Dennis. The Nreal Light glasses have 1080p laser projectors that display images at 60 FPS with a 52-degree field of view, better than the Magic Leaps, but like the Magic Leap, it has a separate box for processing. A side benefit that I'm surprised they haven't mentioned is that they make you look like a straight baller while you wear them, dude. Sick. And in the future, straight ballers will get their snacks and drinks from robot butlers. Or that's what OobTech thinks. Anyway, they're showing off the Walker, which can do everything from fetching you treats to opening doors for you and dancing. Obviously, it's early days, but the fact that Walker can do that much is amazing. I mean, I think I even saw him at the party last night. Were you there, dude? Walker was going ham. Walker was bonkers. And speaking of walkers, in a story that makes my inner Star Wars nerd get much too excited, Hyundai has given a look at a real-life walker, like a AT-AT thing, except not as big. The Hyundai Elevate is a prototype of a vehicle that would be able to go truly off-road by extending 4 legs, locking its wheels in place, and climbing over whatever is in its path. It would be very useful for emergency crews accessing hard-to-reach places, or for empires attacking snow-covered rebel bases. Yeah, he tried to duck at least. I mean, come on, I know it's a prototype, but like, this is really exciting. This is really cool. Dennis, have you seen it? No. It's a walking car.
Cool.
Oh! All right, that's it for this episode of Coolest Stuff at CES Techlinked. We're not gonna keep that name, it's too long, but make sure you subscribe for more tech news because we're gonna have more tomorrow. Every day, we shuffle in. AKA making tech news videos. All right, see you later. Or shuffle away.